I've never believed in ghosts, or monsters, or anything like that. But after what happened last year, I don't know what to believe anymore. It started during a road trip with my best friend, Jake. He was moving to Phoenix for a new job, and I volunteered to help him drive his old truck across the country. We figured we'd turn the trip into an adventure, stop at a few parks, maybe hit some hiking trails along the way. 3 days in, we found ourselves deep in the Arizona desert, hours away from the nearest gas station. No cell service, no towns for miles, just cracked asphalt, stretching out in front of us an endless desert on both sides. Jake had fallen asleep in the passenger seat, snoring softly. The dashboard clock read 2:47 a.m. I was tired, but the silence was starting to get to me, so I fiddled with the radio. Static. Nothing else. That's when I saw something. It was just a flicker of movement at the edge of the headlights. Something fast. Too fast to make out clearly. I jerked the wheel slightly, heart racing. But whatever it was had already disappeared into the darkness. I chalked it up to my imagination. Sleep deprivation. Desert shadows. Whatever. Then I glanced in the rearview mirror, and that's when I saw it. There was something standing in the middle of the road behind us. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't a person. It was twisted, tall and thin, with limbs that seemed too long, and a head tilted at an unnatural angle. The longer I stared, the more distorted it seemed, like its bones were bending in ways that didn't make sense. I blinked, and suddenly, it was closer, 20 feet away now. I blinked again, 10 feet. I couldn't breathe. My fingers gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles ached. I blinked one more time, and it was right behind the truck. I hit the gas, hard. The truck roared forward, kicking up a cloud of dust. My heart felt like it was trying to break through my ribs. "What the hell, dude?" Jake muttered groggily. There was something back there," I stammered, barely able to speak. "What are you talking about?" He turned to look out the back window. Nothing. "It's gone," I said, my voice shaky. "I swear, I saw something." Jake just grunted and rubbed his eyes. "You're losing it, man. Pull over if you're too tired." I wasn't tired anymore. I kept driving, fast. But about 20 minutes later, I heard it, a knocking sound. Not from the door, not from the back. From the roof, I froze. The knocking started slow, deliberate, as if something was testing the truck's structure. Jake heard it too. He shot me a look, his face pale. "Dude, what the hell is that?" Before I could answer, the knocking changed. It turned into a scraping sound, like claws dragging across metal. "Don't stop," Jake whispered. "Don't stop, don't stop." I pressed harder on the gas. The truck climbed past 70 miles an hour, but the scraping didn't stop. Then came the whisper. "Jake, let me in." The voice wasn't mine. It wasn't Jake's, but it sounded just like me. Jake's eyes widened. "Did you just—" I shook my head. The whisper came again. "Jake, let me in." It sounded closer this time. And then I saw it, reflected in the rear-view mirror. A face, or something that was trying to be a face, was pressed against the back window. Pale skin stretched too tight across jagged cheekbones. Empty black eyes stared directly into mine. Then it smiled. That's when I floored it. The truck shot forward. I kept my eyes on the road, refusing to look back. The speedometer needle climbed past 90, the old engine screaming in protest. Jake was fully awake now, his eyes wide with terror as they darted between the mirrors. "Do you see it?" I shouted over the roar of the engine. "Is it still there?" Jake didn't answer. His gaze was fixed on the side mirror, his face drained of all color. I forced myself to look at the rear view mirror again. The thing was no longer at the window. It was running behind us. Its movements were all wrong, jerky and fluid simultaneously, like watching something move underwater, but at impossible speed. Its limbs bent and stretched with each stride, covering impossible distances. Despite our speed, it was keeping pace. "It's following us," Jake whispered. "How the fuck is it following us?" That's when the radio crackled to life. Through the static, I heard my own voice, but I wasn't speaking. "Pull over, pull over. I just want to talk. I just want to be you." Jake reached for the radio dial with shaking hands, but I grabbed his wrist. "Don't touch it," I hissed. The thing's voice came through clearer now. "I've been so lonely, so hungry. Your skin looks so warm." I slammed my fist into the radio. The plastic cracked and the voice cut out. For about 30 seconds, there was nothing but silence and the rumble of the engine. Then a hand, bone white with fingers too long and too thin, slapped against Jake's window. He screamed. I swerved. The truck fishtailed, tires screeching as I fought to keep control. When I looked again, the hand was gone, but the temperature in the cab had dropped. I could see my breath fogging in front of my face. Jake was shivering uncontrollably. "It's trying to get in," he whispered. "It's trying to find a way in." I remembered reading somewhere that you should never say a demon's name, never acknowledge it directly. I wondered if the same applied here. I wondered if we'd already fucked up by talking about it. Up ahead, I saw lights, a gas station. Civilization. We were about half a mile away when the engine sputtered. "No," I muttered. "No, no, no." The truck lurched, then steadied, then lurched again. "What's happening?" Jake's voice was thin, panicked. "I don't know." The dashboard lights flickered. The headlights dimmed, brightened, dimmed again. The engine died. We coasted for a few seconds before the truck rolled to a stop. The silence was absolute, suffocating. "Try it again," Jake said. "Try it again." I turned the key. The starter clicked weakly, but the engine wouldn't catch. We sat there, breathing hard, listening. The desert night was utterly silent. No insects, no wind, nothing. Then we heard it. Footsteps in the sand, circling the truck, slow, deliberate. I tried the engine again. Nothing. "We have to run," Jake whispered. "We have to make it to the gas station." The footsteps stopped, right outside my door. I looked at Jake. On 3. 1. Something started tapping on the window. 2. The tapping became a scratching sound. 3. We threw our doors open and ran. I didn't look back. I just ran, harder than I've ever run in my life. My lungs burning, my legs pumping. I could hear Jake beside me, his breath coming in harsh gasps. The gas station seemed impossibly far away, the lights not getting any closer, no matter how hard we ran. And behind us, I heard Jake scream. I looked back. He'd fallen. And the goddamn thing, was right behind him. Its body bent at an impossible angle as it reached for him with those long, white fingers. I stopped, turned, started running back toward him. "No!" Jake screamed. "Run!" The thing's head snapped toward me. Those black, empty eyes locked with mine. and it smiled that impossible smile again. It knew me now. I ran. God help me, I ran, leaving Jake behind. I ran until my lungs felt like they were filled with fire, until the gas station lights finally grew larger, until I collapsed against the door of the convenience store, pounding on it with my fists. An old man, the gas station owner, opened the door, staring at me with wide eyes. "You okay, son?" he asked, taking in my panicked state. "My friend," I gasped between breaths. "He's still out there. Something got him." His face changed. "Something followed you?" I nodded slowly. The man's eyes darkened. "You need to get blessed, whatever it is. It knows you now." He told me about old Navajo legends, creatures that can mimic voices, faces, even memories. He called it a Skinwalker. I didn't believe him. I wanted to believe we'd just been overtired, hallucinating from the desert heat. But I kept thinking about that smile, that impossible smile. We called the police. They found the truck. Engine dead. Doors hanging open. They didn't find Jake. I flew home alone the next day, leaving the search to local authorities. They called me 3 weeks later to tell me they were closing the case. No leads, no body, just like all the other disappearances in that stretch of desert over the years. And now I can't stop seeing it. In windows, in reflections, in dark corners where no one should be standing. I wake up at 3:14 a.m. every night now. Sometimes I hear footsteps outside my apartment door. Other times I hear my own voice whispering things I know I never said. Last night, I found something scratched into the paint on my front door. "Let me in." This morning, I got a text from Jake's phone. It's been a year. His phone should be dead, buried somewhere in the desert sand. The text said, "I'm coming to visit you. I miss you. I'm so close now." But the thing is, it wasn't Jake who sent it. I know this because right after that text came through, I received another one, a picture of Jake's face, or something wearing it.